Shannon Sharpe has to downgrade again, okay? So after losing his potential $100 million podcast deal over a 19-year-old white woman that came out to sue him alleging that he took her without her permission and she could not fight back. She said it was not BDSM. I told him he was supposed to wear a condom. He did not do it.
He called black women gold diggers. He told his own children, that he should be the last option that they are able to call whenever they need help. He didn't even want to pay for his own, I believe it was his daughter's wedding. He was a willing participant. He was a willing participant in every single thing that he did, and I don't feel sorry for him. The universe sent him signs. Katt Williams tried to warn him. He said it takes 2 weekends. Monique tried to warn him that him now, at the age of 57, and now he has lost his entire football career, basically because him and that girl had to settle for $23 million. His whole football career, he only made 22. So she got his entire Hall of Fame football career within, plus $1 million. Within just a few short months.
Shannon Sharpe should have taken Katt Williams and Monique's advice when they told him to stay away from those snow bunnies. Because not only did he lose $50 million paying off that settlement to his 21-year-old model girlfriend, but just minutes after he paid it off, he lost another $100 million from getting fired from ESPN.
I'm calling out Tyler Perry Studios. I'm calling out Mark Swinton. I'm calling out Jeannie Harrison. I'm calling out Michael Robbins. I'm calling out.
Tyler Perry is also on his way to paying his own victim over $200 million. The person speaking called out Tyler Perry Studios. They called out Mark Swinton. They called out Jeannie Harrison. They called out Michael Robbins. They called out Tyler himself. They said one thing this industry is going to do is remind folks that their uncontrolled fornication comes with a heavy price. But guess what? They'll fall for it every time. Katt Williams sat right in front of Shannon last year and said that celebrities who sold their souls ended up destroying their careers, only for Shannon to wind up in the same boat right alongside Tyler. Now, if y'all remember, Shannon was disgraced a few months ago when his 21-year-old side piece, Gabriela Zuniga, filed a $50 million lawsuit against him, accusing him of assault.
I want like some hardcore BDSM action though. And then she says, I want you to tie me up like this and use me, daddy. And you can see when these text messages were released, you can see it says like from Gabby to owner. So it's painting a picture that their relationship was giving that, you know, there was role play and everything that were happening. Now
it was a very unfortunate situation.
It's crazy.
Horrible situation.
But let me ask
Shannon Sharpe and his lawyer have handled this whole situation terribly. First of all, if you're Shannon Sharpe, you shouldn't be saying anything.
No, he shouldn't.
Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up and continue to allow your lawyer to do his job. And your lawyer said out of his own mouth that you was close to a $10 million settlement with that girl. That right there is all the more reason to shut the F up. I'm not here to speak to Shannon's guilt or innocence because I don't know, but I do know attempting to settle looks like an admission of guilt because I'm not settling.
Yeah, or you just scared.
Yeah.
Honestly, you just probably scared.
I'm with you, Charlamagne. I feel like he's being advised wrong, right? And you know, when people go through this, they go to an attorney because the attorney usually knows what's best for them. They usually know what to do. And in this situation, like any attorney would say, shut the F up and let's deal with it in court. Let's deal with facts because you can't change public opinion unless it's in court with facts. Now, but one thing I would say, if somebody said this, but I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and you put it in my beep and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. If that didn't happen, I'm going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? Nah, we agreed on this. I'm not going to be like, I'll call you later because I'm feeling like this is a setup right here.
Absolutely.
As soon as you text me this, I'm going to feel a little, and nobody's just going to respond, I'll call you later. You're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? We both agreed to this. You know, like, this is part of the game. Like, nobody's going to respond with that, which scares me. But like Charlamagne said, shut the F up. Let the facts play out in court because right now, all this talking is doing too much.
Audio.
And it's making it worse.
Even audio. And she was like, you're manipulating me. Like, even that would have been like, oh, no. Okay, I see what this is. You know what I'm saying? Unless they were role playing.
But wouldn't you have changed that right from the door?
Oh, yeah,
like what are you talking about? Like, no. Like, let's not play this game. Are you taping me? Because last night we was good with this. Like, in my opinion.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
She claimed they had an arrangement for hours-long BDSM activities, but Shannon used it as a cover to violate her. Mind you, he's 60 years old, and this girl was only 19 at the start of their freak-filled relationship. Right away, it looked bad for him. Beyond the accusations of violating her in the bedroom, she also claimed he threatened her life after finding out she was sharing her live location with her family.
Oh, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did with the shit you did to me.
Okay, well...
Another time, when she tried to break up with him for cheating, she said he basically channeled his inner Diddy and assaulted her multiple times, not just vaginally, but anally as well. That last accusation allegedly happened as recently as January.
Oh, a lot of people were angry at Shannon Sharpe after his Katt Williams 2024 God Ain't Playing With Y'all interview. A lot of people were angry with him. Matter of fact, there's a lot more people who reached out to him after Katt, who he turned away because he couldn't take the heat. Is everyone forgetting that? And Katt warned him, they're gonna come for you. Monique came after that, told him, they about to get you. You better watch who you kicking it with. She told him the kindest, most polite way possible. And then all of a sudden, he's accidentally going on Instagram, setting up whole corn lives. Humiliation ritual, down to the floor. But why is nobody paying attention to? They're talking about money. 10 million offered to be quiet. She asked for 25,000 for the SCX. He wants 100 million for defamation and whoopty-whoopty-woo and all of this. Why is nobody talking about the simple fact that this is a man that's pushing 60 who's messing with a girl that's barely old enough to drink?
Yeah.
Let's stay there.
Let's stay there.
Because everybody skipped over that. You messing with this girl who's a child. This man has children older than this girl. Am I lying?
No, you're not lying.
Yeah, his daughters are 32, son is 30.
And he keeps getting online. And somebody want to apologize to my family. No, you don't. Because you would stop. You got busted out. You did whatever you did on Instagram. And is everyone forgetting that he was just recently tied to the whole bride and with Casanat and Skip Bayless? Is everybody forgetting that just happened just a couple months ago? You're negotiating $150 million big deal for your podcast outlets and all of that, which, by the way, was all set up for you by the NFL. Oh, I'm sorry. Who does Sean Carter work for?
The puzzle is puzzling.
No, last time I checked, Mr. Carter works for the NFL. And he was the one that got real smart Black Americans who were boycotting the NFL to stop giving the NFL their money. He was able to make all of that happen. I think we're past bending a knee. And then all of a sudden, black people giving their money back to the NFL again? Those blackouts were for real, and it was costing the NFL millions. What else I also find funny? That he did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shack. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house. And how after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and Jay-Z was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house. And how Beyonce presented herself to him, and she didn't have to do that because he knew who she was and he couldn't believe she was talking to him. But she approached him, kind of like how she approached that old friend of his when he said that he was at the party and the little people was there, and she asked him, "Isn't this sexy?"
Shannon and his lawyers denied it all, insisting it was consensual. He even accused her of trying to extort $25,000 per cheek before filing the lawsuit. He said Gabriella had started secretly recording their BDSM encounters and editing them to look like assaults. He also shared text messages in which she asked him to choke her and get her pregnant because she wanted a black baby. The text showed her writing things like, "I want you to tie me up like this and F me, daddy." The messages were labeled, "From Gabby to owner," painting the relationship as role play rather than violence. But still, the situation looked terrible, and Shannon and his lawyer were handling it badly. Commentators weighed in.
Get started. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted to be about him, and I wanted to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. And so, as I told him, as I profusely apologized to him earlier today, he said, "Bro, stop apologizing. You don't have to apologize. I'm your big bro. I'm going to love you regardless."
One person said that if you're in Shannon's shoes, you should shut up and let your lawyer do his job, especially when audio, video, and text messages are already out there. They pointed out that his lawyer even admitted Shannon was close to a $10 million settlement, which made it look like an admission of guilt. Another person added that attempting to settle like that always makes you look guilty. Others said Shannon was being advised poorly, because in cases like this, the only smart move is to remain silent and let the facts play out in court. Another person pointed to a message where Gabriella said, "I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is." They said if that wasn't true, the natural response would be to deny it immediately, not respond casually like Shannon did. Shannon himself put out a statement saying directly to his family, friends, and supporters, this was a shakedown. He said it was all orchestrated by Gabriella and her lawyer, Tony Busby, who he claimed was targeting him like he had tried to target Jay-Z. He said Busby was editing clips to make him look guilty, and he challenged him to release the full video. Shannon framed the whole case as defamation and manipulation. Tony Busby clapped back, saying Shannon had offered Jane Doe $10 million to settle, which she rejected. Busby said he was proud to be her lawyer and didn't seek her out, and that Shannon was well aware of it. Busby even released audio and messages Gabriella sent to Shannon the day after one alleged assault, including her saying, "No means no, Shannon. I don't know how to process this." Meanwhile, others in the industry piled on. Jaguar Wright dragged him publicly, saying Shannon put himself in this situation and accusing him of shady dealings with executives. She reminded people that Katt Williams had already warned Shannon this would happen, and that Monique had also warned him kindly to be careful about who he was messing with. People pointed out that the real issue was his age, nearly 60 years old, and the fact that he was messing with a girl barely old enough to drink. His own kids are older than Gabriella. Critics said his apologies to his family were meaningless because he kept repeating the same behavior. Eventually, Shannon settled with Gabriella. Whatever amount he wired her was enough for her to quit OnlyFans and disappear. He, on the other hand, lost his ESPN job. In his farewell statement, Shannon admitted he had known earlier in the week he was being fired and said he only asked ESPN to wait until after his brother's Hall of Fame induction. He said he apologized to his brother, but his brother told him to stop apologizing and that he would love him regardless. And while Shannon lost $100 million, Tyler Perry was in an even bigger mess, facing a $240 million lawsuit from actor Derek Dixon, who accused Tyler of repeated assault, explicit messages, and luring him to his guest house under false pretenses. Word is, even more lawsuits are coming. Derek Dixon claimed in his suit that Tyler pulled down his underwear, told him to relax, assured him it wasn't going to hurt, and then tried to force himself on him. Dixon said he managed to get out of the situation by quickly changing the subject. People believed this story easily because before Derek, actor Christian Keyes had already made a cryptic post months earlier hinting that Tyler had tried something similar with him. But word on the street is that Christian never filed a lawsuit because he was paid off. Christian explained his side, saying that he had thought about making a declaration of what he experienced with powerful figures who were moving inappropriately. He said this person had for years been claiming he kept multiple young black men on payroll, expecting them to show up whenever requested. He stressed that it's not only women who are forced to deal with such things, but men too. Sometimes men being tempted by men. He said he felt the need to protect himself because he kept saying no and didn't want someone that powerful to block his career. He revealed that he started recording. He said he had recordings of them offering him money to take his clothes off, recordings made when he wasn't working with them, and recordings of confessions about other men they kept on payroll. And just when people thought things couldn't get worse, another actor from The Oval came out to expose Tyler and the VP of his studios, Mark Swinton, accusing them of assault and of paying off the feds to cover it up. This actor said he was not about to hide. He said he wasn't going to be afraid or silenced by people who knowingly wronged him. He called out Tyler Perry Studios. He called out Mark Swinton. He called out Jeannie Harrison. He called out Michael Robbins. He called out Tyler Perry. He called out Mark Temple. And he called out Chris Giovanni. He declared that what they did to him was unlawful. He said that as a retired U.S. Army veteran suffering from PTSD and depression, everything he claimed in his testimony had been covered up. He accused them of covering up a felony crime committed by Mark Swinton. He said he had asked the California State Bar to investigate Jeannie Harrison because she never informed him of his rights as a veteran and a California resident. He pointed out what he saw as inconsistencies. Derek Dixon was being given unlimited jurisdiction as an LA resident, even though his incident happened in 2020 in Georgia, in a workplace setting. He said Derek had been assaulted by Tyler Perry in Georgia in an employment setting, but was still being treated as if California had jurisdiction. So, as it stood, things were looking grim for both Shannon and Tyler. Word on the street was that more lawsuits were brewing against them, not yet made public. And people couldn't help but say that maybe if they had listened to Katt Williams in the first place, they wouldn't be in this mess. One person commented that Shannon and Tyler both loved white women, and most of those women were only after money. They said Gabriella played Shannon from the very beginning, that she had a plan all along. Another person said, "What the hell is going on? Every week there are new allegations. I've never seen so many in such a short span, not Tyler, man. People have been coming for him for years, but now it looks real." And now the question is being asked, what do you think of Katt Williams dragging Shannon and Tyler for destroying their own careers? Do you think this is the end for them? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to click here to check out another messy video.